give the glory. Good news is here. Welcome to the FAVR Lifestyle Show. I am Pamela Lowery. And as always, a lot is going on in the world today. But FAVR is here to keep you encouraged, enlightened, and spiritually focused. We have a hot show for you today. And when I say hot, I am referring to humble, open, and transparent. In today's world, it is easy to hide behind the guise of beautiful pictures, perfect moments, and the perfect relationship. But when we all know when these things happen, we also know that we can also edit our lives to make it a perfect lie. Are you living a fulfilling life, a life that serves others rather than just yourself? Are you living in alignment with God's purpose for your life? FAVR family, joining me today, we have believers from around the world from all ages sharing their impactful journey to empower and ignite your faith. We have all been chosen to make the impact in the kingdom, and today we have been honored to have 3 teens who have dedicated their time and talents serving America's elderly, forming the youth volunteer organization Love of Laughter. Also joining us is executive producer Lawainna Patterson, director Arthur Muhammad, and actors Adrian, Lockett, and Jermel Howard from BT hit movie Bid for Love. Then we're going to follow up our discussion with therapist Andrea Brown Wise, discussing toxic traits in relationships. All up next when we return.
I should be thinking, but I know that I have changed. A better place now, a new season. Gone is the pain. No more shame.
Joining me are 3 teens who have dedicated themselves to putting smiles on the faces of the elderly, forming the youth organization simply phrased Love of Laughter, LOL. Welcome Sanjay, Rudy, and Shriyansh. How are you guys doing?
Hi.
Yes. Okay.
Great to be here.
Welcome to the FAVR Show. So now you are officially members of the FAVR Show. Now, what was your inspiration behind starting LOL?
Well, the idea kind of started, so I started performing stand-up comedy at open mics and stuff. Mm-hmm. And my grandfather actually passed, and it was like a thought in me that he never got to see me perform. So I started planning the thing to go to nursing homes to perform comedy, and eventually Shriyansh and Rudy had the idea to incorporate musicians and other stuff like that. So
yes. So when you first started, so what's your talent?
So I do a lot of speech and debate. I gave a TED Talk recently, so at one of our events, I actually gave a version of my TED Talk. So when I gave it to all the seniors, I not only got to, have a good conversation with them, I got real feedback for a few changes I can make here and there, and I really took that feedback and actually implemented it before the real talk.
Okay, so you guys are not typical teenagers. We're talking about a TED Talk presenter right here. You're starting an organization because you're thinking outside of the box, helping the elderly. When you first started, were you nervous? What was the excitement in the room? How did that set up? How did you set that up?
I think since the audience was so welcoming and we saw how much they wanted us to be there, I don't think we were actually that nervous when we were going in, because it's we were just talking and having fun. It wasn't more like a dedicated speech, a presentation in class. It was more like getting to know and connecting with people that have been overlooked, especially after the pandemic.
It's the pandemic. You started this in the midst of the pandemic.
yeah.
And so your grandfather, he did not have an opportunity to see you perform in your comedy. How did you even know that you were funny? It's one thing to say, okay, I think I'm funny, but then to have, because sometimes, older people keep it real.
Yeah.
And they might not laugh. So tell us about that journey.
Well, so yeah, comedy has always been a thing that I've wanted to do, and then going to comedy clubs, especially talking with other comedians, you get a good feel of is this a thing I can continue to keep doing? So then I felt like I could perform, but then I feel the first show especially we had a much tougher crowd, because it was a lot of them had some of them had illnesses and stuff like that, to where they couldn't fully grasp the our show or my comedy. So it was eventually I was thinking am I it had me thinking is comedy really for me? And then but then as more and more shows, you get more positive feedback. going.
Okay, now favorite family, he gonna have to tell us a joke. So we're gonna put you on. Like, okay, so what's a joke that you would normally tell to the residents?
Okay. Well, this one joke is so before our first show, I didn't really know the difference between like a nursing home and a retirement home. So I did some research, and this is like my understanding. So like, correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
But a nursing home is for someone who has like a 24 around the clock illness
Yes.
and like needs like 24-hour care. And like a retirement home is for people whose kids hate them.
You do. So no, you do. You got it. So with this, what was your family's response to you guys? Your youth, your teens, starting something like this. What was your family's response?
At first, they didn't really like believe it. Like when we were going, I said, "Oh, I'm going to elderly home to perform." They're like, "No, you're not." But like after it became a little bit more main scale, and like they've been more supportive, and then obviously bragging to their other friends, and yeah, they've been more supportive and like telling us how much like we're actually doing good.
So some of the crowds that you've had, what's the largest crowd thus far that you've performed?
The largest one was probably 250 people, but the smallest one was 5 or 6 people. So
Okay.
it's really interesting seeing the dynamic.
Just humble beginnings.
Exactly.
So what's next for LOL?
I think just more shows, and then like we're looking for other ways to reach out, maybe like start a scholarship fund for performers and stuff like that, and then also continue to perform as many shows as we can. So yeah.
So if our viewers and our audience wanted to reach out to you all so that you can perform at a local nursing or rehabilitational facility, how can they get in contact? We look into the camera and let them know.
We have our Instagram, and we also have a website where you can reach out to us. We're always on DMs, and we're always responding. So you can always reach out to us and tell us you want to perform and tell us your talents.
Okay. All right. And what's the URL or handle?
It's Love of Laughter.
.com?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're going to just keep it simple. It's just the simple things. Also, it's not normal for you to always give back to the elderly. So here, being a part of the Favor family now, thank you, because it's coming from love, it's coming from God, but you're making an impact. And I didn't notice that even in the small blessings of just someone coming to say hello or sharing love, how much that means to someone. So I want to say personally, thank you guys for changing the world, changing the marketplace. And I'll see you future on TED Talks and everything else coming up. Thank you guys for sharing your amazing testimony. Now, Favor fam, make sure you like and subscribe to Favor Lifestyle on all social media platforms to get the scoop on what's happening in gospel. Now, get ready. Up next, meet some of the cast and crew from the hit BET movie, Bid for Love, after these messages.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back. Dad! You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Welcome back to the Favor Show. Favor family, we have always heard our parents, pastors, and it also says in the word, it states that we should always be equally yoked, whether we're in a friendship or a romantic relationship. But what happens when the flesh leaves? What happens when that representative, it goes away and those real toxic traits start to come out? Joining me today in the Favor Studios from the hit BET movie Bid for Love is executive producer Lawainna Patterson, director Arthur Muhammad, and virtually actors Adrian Lockett and Jermel Howard. Welcome to the Favor Show. Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so we got some big business going on here. Y'all got a hit show or hit movie on BET. Now, Lawainna, this movie is based off of your life.
It is.
Tell us what happened, girl. What's going on? Because
Well, it's based on my life with a twist.
Okay.
So it's based on relationships, failed relationships, toxic relationships. Till you've been in dysfunctional so long, it becomes the norm.
Yes. Yes.
And after seeking therapy, and she's telling me what I'm going through and what I've been through and why it keeps happening, I had to change that.
Now, how did you know that you wanted to make this a movie to share your testimony with other people to release them from that bondage?
Because I see a lot of women, and not just women, men as well, going through the same thing, and they think it's normal, but it's not.
The movie is good. You guys
Thank
did
you.
an excellent, excellent job. Now,
Thank you.
Arthur, you are a veteran director, directed great movies globally. So as a director, what was your vision for this? Because we don't want to tell y'all, for the ones who haven't seen the movie, we don't want to share the scoop. But overall, your vision, and why did you come onto this project?
Well, I came onto the project because my friend here, who actually grew up in the same neighborhood, reached out to me, and she said, I want you to direct this film. And initially it started off as a TV series, and that's kind of like how the movie is shot. So that was the vision, is to make it like what they would call a backdoor pilot. So if the movie ends in a way where you're not too happy, that's because it's really a series or the beginning of a series.
Now you have some big name actors. You have Tammy Roman, she's here. We got Jermel Howard. We have Adrian Lockett. Everyone, all a part of the show. You know, Jermel, you're on BMF, you're on Power, you're everywhere. And then in addition to Adrian, okay, we're talking about your projects as well. You know, you're coming from the Oval, Tyler Perry. You got the best of the best. So Adrian, what interested you about coming on to this project?
First of all, hey everybody, and it's good to see everybody in good spirits. But definitely first is it has to be Arthur, because I set a vision out long ago, and Arthur he was already doing things, and I was noticing them, and they told me he was from Texas, and I was like, you know, who is this guy, and how can I get in front of his camera, you know? And then I received the script, and they told me that Arthur was the director, and then I was sold right there. You know, I just read the script, and then I was like, let me become him.
Okay. Now, also, Adrian, I would say when I left out of the screening of the movie, I did not like his character. And so the first thing Adrian told me, he was like, that means I did a good job.
Yes.
And then also, too, with Jermel, it's the twist. It's the twist after twist after twist. Jermel, your character, let me make sure I look into the right camera. Jermel, your character, I would never have expected for you to be where you were at the end of the movie. I know with method acting and all of those different things. Tell me where you see this going, because we got to have part two. We got to have part two. So tell me your character. I so want to tell the movie, but I can't tell the movie because it's so good. So I'm trying to put it in the right way. Would you have seen reading, if you hadn't have read the script, your character being where he was at the end of the movie? Being, I don't want to spill it, but you know what I mean. I don't want to spill it, but it's kind of, to me, it was kind of shady a little bit, but okay.
Well, so I played Detective Carter, and in the beginning, when I read the script, I didn't see, when I was reading it page by page, I didn't see that happening. I didn't see them getting together. Don't tell them, but everybody will see it.
Yeah, can't tell too much.
But I think that it's a great perspective on things, because it also allows you to see the human side of things, because people are human beings, and everybody has attractions, and you just might not know what that is because people are not outspoken about things. But there are, officers, detectives, they are human beings with feelings and things and emotions. So I'm pretty sure there's several situations that are similar. But it was a great twist on the role. So I enjoyed playing it.
Now, Jermel, for you, this is a direct change, because on Power and on BMF, you're not the cop. You're not the cop. So what do you think? What do you think the fans are going to feel about this? Now you're the cop. Did you turn coat?
It's one thing that drew me to the character when it was brought to me. was that it is something different that I haven't really done and tapped into yet. And I'm so used to everybody so used to seeing me either kill somebody or, or be the bad guy. So I did want to have this in my toolbox and display that I can actually do other things, even though it's fun being the bad guy.
Yes.
But I also enjoyed, I enjoy different roles like that. So definitely, I have fun, and I think that my audience, my fans, they were open to seeing me do something different,
Yes.
because I have, like Power and BMF. Those are all bad guy, drug dealer roles type of thing. But I'm getting more into the character roles and doing stuff like that as well. So next will be something like vampire, werewolves.
Now, Adrian, you are a true love interest, and because you played your part so beautifully, and I even told you in person, like, having the opportunity to move in a different direction as an actor. How did you get into this role? How did you morph into your character?
Well, I followed the philosopher Ida Hagen, and you have to find out the character's backstory. Who is he? What people say about him? What do the people that don't like him say about him? What do people like him say about him? I done all of the homework, and then I also asked author questions like, whatever that moment entailed, So from there, well, actually before that, I tapped into the movie with Taraji and Idris Elba, and he was a narcissist.
Yes, he was a
And
narcissist.
He was a pretty good one.
Yes, he was.
So-
He was. Yeah. Oh, that's why you did so good.
Yes, you know what? You must have watched that movie a million times because you were an excellent narcissist, and we're going to touch base into that later in the show. Now, Lawainna, having lived the life, when you saw Don portraying you on screen, did it trigger any feelings that you've had in the past?
It did, but then again, it didn't, because after the healing, nothing bothers you. You're past that. But it's like a lot more to that than what we showed, which should be in part 2.
Now, how do you feel your life has been shared around the world now?
I feel great because it's going to help others. I really feel good about it.
Okay, so we got to have a part 2. We definitely have to have a part 2. So when it comes, because I'm gonna put that into the universe, how do you both feel? And I want everyone in this discussion to answer, how is this, in your opinion, going to heal other individuals who watch this movie? Because when you watch this movie, for myself, I was like, oh, I've talked to somebody that acted like that before. But when you're in the midst of a narcissistic relationship, you don't know. You don't see that. You don't see it.
Because you ignore the red flags.
You ignore the red flags. Okay, now Arthur, where can we find Bid for Love?
You can find Bid for Love on BET+, and it's also airing on BET TV.
All right, thank you so much. Thank y'all so much for joining us. Y'all are part of the FAVR family now. And for more news and entertainment information, stay tuned.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org.
Joining me is therapist and FAVR family member, Andrea Brown Wise. Now, Andrea, thank you so much for coming back home to the FAVR family. We got some stuff that we need to talk about.
All right.
Now, I know we can't really share with the audience for the members who have not checked out the movie, Bid for Love.
Okay.
But it discussed relationships, the traumas, the highs and lows of new relationships, whether it's friendships, whether it's romantic relationships. But you and I today, we're going to talk about romantic relationships and knowing and understanding when the red flags are up and you're dealing with a narcissist, what you should do. So what is a narcissist actually?
Yeah, so a narcissist. So this is the thing. As a mental health expert, it's a little frustrating to hear the term being thrown around all the time. Everybody's a narcissist now when you get your feelings hurt. Not true. So narcissism is diagnosed on a spectrum. Most people have narcissistic traits, but it doesn't make them a narcissist, right? And it doesn't mean that they have narcissistic personality disorder. So that is where you have the traits, and it's kind of diagnosed on a spectrum. So you have these traits, but you are loaded with them. It is the extreme, and it actually impedes on your functioning. So you're functioning at work, you're functioning with your money, and you're functioning, you know, in relationships, romantic relationships and friendships. All right, so that's when we're talking about a narcissist that has narcissistic personality disorder, NPD. Now, a lot of people have narcissistic tendencies because that's a trait. Okay. But so now here, this is what I want you to know is the marker. When you know it's time to go is when you are feeling used, abused, minimized, disrespected. Those are the times that you need to realize that you need to get out of the relationship. And you don't have to just be in a relationship with a person who has narcissistic personality disorder to run. You know, there could just be disrespectful men and women who you may need to end the relationship with.
Because that's the new term now. That's a narcissist, gaslight, all of these different terms. And people are using them out of context because that's the new phrase. That's the new phrase for right now.
Trend.
So
it's a trend.
It's a trend. It's the new fact. So when you're dealing with a narcissist, first off, what are some of the things that narcissists do when you're in a relationship?
Okay, so I mean, they can be manipulating. Of course, you said gaslighting, but let's just kind of talk about the person who is the narcissist. So basically, we want to talk about their capabilities, okay, and so and their actions. So what their actions are usually is they cannot take criticism, no criticism, and then they feel entitled to everything. This is my world, and you just a squirrel trying to get a nut. And it's my nut. It is my nut. Okay.
By a round of applause, have y'all ever dealt with somebody like that before?
Yes. Another symptom or sign of a narcissist is they can't empathize. So they cannot put themselves in someone else's shoes. They could care less about how you feel. If your feelings are hurt, they don't care. They don't care what you feel about any situation. They want to make all decisions and always have and maintain control. So if you could imagine, you're feeling all of that, right? And like I said, they're feeling entitled. Then what would it feel like on the other side of that? Right? So that should feel minimizing. That should make you feel really small. Like there's no space for you in a relationship. But this is where the problem is a lot of women and men, because women can be narcissists.
And so it's put on men. It's really put on men. But women can be manipulated, and we're learning that men or women can do battery, assault, but it's always, it's just me, but it's women too, and they can control the situations as well.
Absolutely. And we don't want to just hold this to assault, because there are plenty of people who are physically abusive and mentally abusive, but they are not narcissist. Got me? But what I wanted to say is, so with women, so usually the diagnosis of narcissistic personality disorder is found mostly in men, and it usually kind of occurs or comes up in young adulthood. We don't really see it as men start to age. However, that's the majority, but that's not all. So yes, we do have some women who also have many, remember, extreme narcissistic traits. But this is the thing, because I really want to dispel this term narcissism today. There is some healthy narcissistic behavior. Okay.
And what are those traits?
Okay, so it's when you feel good about yourself and you say that I am good at this, because it's the thing that actually gives us enough courage and motivation to go get a job or to go speak on television or to do a TED Talk. Those are narcissistic traits.
What's the
but
difference
those are healthy traits.
What's the difference between narcissism and confidence?
Well, no. Well, it's this. Well, confidence is confidence, but it is still a trait.
Traits.
Got me?
Okay.
So confidence is still confidence, but confidence is a narcissistic trait. But it's a healthy narcissistic trait. So remember, the problem comes in is when we're extreme. So I can be confident, but at the same time, I can still empathize with other people.
How can
Got
you,
me?
How can
That's
you
that's a
extinguish-
difference than being narcissistic.
Yes.
Okay.
How can you extinguish someone, put it out, when you're dealing with a narcissist? What should you do?
Oh, you should run.
Okay.
If it doesn't feel good. But that's if it doesn't feel good, right? And I want to say this over and over again. Usually people who have narcissistic personality disorder, and I keep saying this because I like to educate when I'm talking, right? When they have that, they ruin their relationships anyway. Like it's impossible to even be with them. That's what I need you to get, because there's no space for you in that relationship.
Because it's all about them.
Yes, and I need you to hear this. There is only about 1 to 5% of our population. That's new research that just came out, who are diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder.
Wow.
So everything that everybody's dealing with, probably not even that.
Not narcissism.
Got me?
Yes.
But my thing is this. Why are you there? How do you find yourself there? And then how do you find yourself there over and over again?
Yes.
See, that's what I do.
Yes.
I work with people
because
so my specialty is family of origin trauma.
Yes.
So many times, anything that we are dealing with today as adults, all stems from our childhood. That's right.
So would you say narcissism also could be a spirit that we're attracting over and over again? Because I was listening to a sermon earlier this week, and they were saying a lot of the traits of a narcissist is demonic. It's all about me.
Okay.
It's all about praise for me. You're excluding God out. So what's your opinion on that?
So my opinion is, I don't want to speak to demonic and not demonic, even though I am a believer, right? But what I want to say is anything that we do when we act out of ego, okay, you can link that to a negative personality disorder, right? When we act out of ego, when we act out of pride. So I would link that to someone who has narcissistic personality disorder, and any personality disorder is chronic. So there's no help for that. Got me? Chronic. That means that it endures over a lifetime. Now you can go to therapy. You'd come to a therapist and help. We can help you process and maybe look at things and kind of get you to connect to care about people. That's one of the things. However, if you think about it, people who have that disorder don't like criticism.
Wow, at all.
So why would they show up to therapy? You got me? So that's a different thing. But my concern is this, because the narcissistic personality disorder, that person's going to take care of himself. My concern is this. Everyone who's in relationship, my concern is working with you to figure out, why are you attracted to the person with that personality?
She hitting
you
on
got
some
me?
good points.
Well, that's the reality of it.
That's some good point. Yes. So, if an individual needed help, I need you to look into the camera and say, and give our viewers, what site they can go to, how they can find additional help, because a lot of individuals they've conformed to that. Because they've been in it for so long, they don't know that they're being belittled, they're in this cycle of hell per se. So look into the camera and tell our viewers where they can find out more information about help.
So listen, you need help. And I get it, because we all need help and we all need to grow. So you need help, and there's no shame in getting help. And I want you to seek therapy, because that is the only way that you can realize your worth. Usually someone who engages in dysfunctional relationships is someone who doesn't see their self-worth. And a therapist, that's what we're here to do. We're here to help you. We're here to show you. We're here to show you your broken pieces so that together we can help you mend them and put them back together again. So a way that you could find a therapist, I don't get paid for the site, but we usually pay for the site. But it's a site that's called psychologytoday.com. So that's a great site to go to. You put your zip code in, where you live, and you type in what it is that you're looking for, and many therapists pop up. Your insurance plans pay for therapy. And you may have to pay a copay. And then they even have employee assistance program that pay the total amount. So please seek therapy.
Yes.
If you don't know how to do anything else, you want to walk before you, well, you're going to crawl before you walk, but just crawl over to the phone or the internet and get some therapy.
Well,
wait, but I have to say this. I have to. I'm sorry. No, I have to say this. It's so accessible now because now we have telehealth.
Yes.
Through COVID, you know,
Yes.
through the pandemic. So you
Yes.
can literally have therapy in your car, in your office,
Yes.
in the back stairwell.
Yes.
Okay? So seek therapy.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Favor fam, we just want to tell Andrea, thank you so much for stopping by and joining us. And again, seek therapy. You know, it's the small things, the small triggers that we don't see or we just keep looking over. But the simple things are right here to help. For more information, go to favormag.com.
It's not.
Favor family, the victory has already been won because the spirit that is in you is greater than the spirit that is in the world. I want to thank you all for joining us, but before you leave, I want to let you know that everything will fall into place when you keep God first. For His word always stands true. God bless and take care. If you found the show to help feed your spirit, uplift your mood, or even entertain you, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the Favor Lifestyle Show today.